Welcome back everyone to our Making It Fun career mode series in NASCAR Heat 3. So we're coming off a very much needed and very unexpected victory at Martinsville. And with that victory, that is going to guarantee us a spot in the finale to run for the championship at Homestead. So let's go ahead and start out by taking a look at the playoff grid. Now we know we've got 2 more races in this round before the finale at Homestead, and that will be at Texas Motor Speedway and ISM or Phoenix. So what I've decided to do, and we talked a little bit about this previously leading up to this, is now that we are guaranteed a spot, that green advance tag next to our name means that we don't have to worry about points. We're in. So I'm going to be simulating Texas and ISM, and then we're going to see exactly where that puts everybody as we head into the finale. So there's a few great things about the finale. I have run 0 laps at Homestead previous to this, so I've not spent any time working on a setup. I have absolutely no idea what's going to work, how fast we're going to be, or anything. We might very well go to that race and have enough speed to win. We might very well go to that race and barely make it to the top 10. I just have no idea, and that is so much fun for me going into that race weekend. But for now, we need to prepare for Texas. Of course, our dirt season is already over, so we don't have to worry about any dirt races in here, although it would be nice because that's additional money. So we're going to go ahead and prepare our Speedway chassis for Texas, even though I'm not sure it makes a whole lot of difference how strong our car is, but we're going to do it nonetheless. Okay, that'll take care of our Speedway chassis. Our engine, aero, and suspension should all be at their max values. And then ISM will be a short track. So we're going to go ahead and get started on it. We're going to put Andrew, Chris, and Stella busy working on this one. And then we'll back our way out, start that work plan. And we're all set. Our bay number 1, our Speedway chassis, 90, 95, and 90, which is perfect. That's exactly what we need it to be. So we'll back our way out, and we're going to simulate Texas. Look at that huge purse, $78,525. I would really like to run that race and see how much better we can do than what we were able to do last time, which I don't even think we finished in the top 15 last time at that track. But in the interest of time, we're going to go ahead and move this along. $36,814, very nice. Only 19 fans there and a 21st place finish, so not very good. But that's sort of what we come to expect. All right, let's see. Just so everybody is clear, the way to make friends is to race like Neil Pittler did at Texas. A mighty fine racing. Okay, so we got good feedback for a change. We've been having a rash of negative feedback when we simulate these races, so it's nice to get some good feedback as well to balance that out. Now, the important thing for us as we reach the end of the season is, of course, we're racing for a championship. That's first and foremost, but we're also trying to accrue as much money as we can. $341,000 is where we sit in our bank account right now, and you can see we've just now reached 1,000 fans. So we've reached a big milestone in my estimation there with the fans, and we hope that that continues to grow at an escalated pace. But now it's time to prepare for Phoenix or ISM. I'm probably never going to get used to calling that ISM. I've been calling it Phoenix forever. All right, so let's get busy on our short track chassis to begin with. We'll put Jillian on the engine, then Harrison, and then Mark. Okay, now we need to go back to one of our Speedway chassis. We'll just go back to bay number 1. And we'll get these guys up and running on there. Now, we do have the ability to hire more people, and we could do actually more work, and we could actually be working on 3 chassis at one time, but it's really not necessary unless you want to play around with the amount of training that you do with each employee and save yourself some money that way. But other than that, you know, it's not really that big of a deal, so we're just not going to hire any more employees for this particular series. Let's start our work plan. And there we go. Work is underway on bay number 1 for the Speedway chassis, and bay number 2 holds our fully upgraded, for us anyway, short track chassis. So let's back our way out, and we're going to simulate this race as well. Going to use the short track chassis, and there we go. We've advanced to the championship round. Okay. Now, can you tell us what we got? There we go. That's what I wanted to see. Race summary, 21st. $20,759, so not near as much money as we got last time. And we pick up 18 more fans. So where does that get us? Well, right now we're sitting at $362,000. Let's see what kind of message we've got.
Congrats on making it to Championship 4. Go make it happen.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kennedy. Oh, Stuart Friesen has been sequestered again.
You made it into the Championship 4. You got this. Make it happen.
All right, so Brett Moffitt, this is it. You're a championship round truck driver. You're awesome. Okay. I guess we'll go with that. And some more good feedback from our simulated race at Phoenix that we raced great. Oh, and then Cody Coughlin. He is not happy with us. ISM Raceway may be tough, but that's no excuse for how you drove it. All right, so he doesn't appreciate our efforts at Phoenix. All right, so now we've made it. We have made it to the championship round. We're here, purse $52,500, and we would love nothing more than to be bringing home that amount of money at the end of this particular race, because that also means we're bringing home the championship trophy. But we'll have to see. As I mentioned earlier, I literally have no idea. I have no setup for this track right now. I'm going to throw some things at it that I've used at other mile and a halves that I think will work here. But I don't know if we're fighting for a top 10, which is not going to get us a championship, or if we're fighting for a victory. We'll just have to see. I'll see you at Homestead. All right, folks, it is race time here at Homestead. So we're qualifying 14th, which is not exactly good. We were a full second off of the pole time. And so that doesn't give me a great deal of hope for the amount of speed we have in the truck. But it's going to be interesting to see just how the setup works out. I ran a grand total of 2 laps, and one of those was qualifying. And I took what I've learned at the other mile and a halves and basically tried to fit it in on this track as best I could with a grand total of 2 laps. So on one hand, I'm really hoping that this truck is tight enough to do what we need it to do and to be able to maneuver and have stability over the course of this race. Then I also hope that it rotates well enough. Ooh, that was some squirrely behavior up in front of us. I'm going to back out of that a little bit. I'm going to try to get to the bottom. That's what I really want to do here. It's very congested here at the top. A lot of speed up top, but it's also very congested too. All right, a great run off that corner. All right, let's back out of it a little bit. Again, just trying to feel out the truck and just see what I've got. Am I tight enough? Am I, too tight, too loose? What do we have? So we are racing only 3 other drivers for the championship. It is possible to win the championship without winning the race. We've actually done that in the past. I believe it was the Xfinity Championship in NASCAR Heat 2, if memory serves me correctly, that we actually finished second in that race and won the championship because the winner was not in the championship 4. All right, so we've made our way up inside the top 10 into 8th. So far, so good. We got a 14-lap stage number 1. So the good news for us is that I can see the leaders up there. They have not driven away. I don't know exactly who the championship 4 is. I intentionally did not look. I wanted it to be a surprise if and when we're able to get to the top 4. Now, one thing is immediately clear right now, and that is, well, we just don't have blazing speed, particularly on the straightaway. These guys are killing us on the straightaway. We're holding our own through the corners. This car is a little twitchy right now. Our truck isn't exactly handling the way I would prefer right now. It's a little bit too twitchy for my taste. But you can see Coughlin drove by us and is now on his way to the front. So that puts us back to 9th. So we're going to have to see if we can find some speed. There's not a whole lot we can do with the motor, that's for sure.
Hang tight there, driver. Hold this line here.
All right, so our goal in this race is the same as in the other races. We want to score points in the first 2 stages, even though that won't matter for the purposes of the championship. But we still want to keep that going by running well in both of the stages and then getting the absolute best finish we can, which we hope is a shot at a victory by the end of this race.
All right, now you're clear.
Okay, so we've moved back into 8th for now.
Get better.
And now we're closing up. So the comers and goers right now, just past halfway in this first stage, it looks like we are coming to the front. And that is very good news for us. As we try to pass Rhodes, if we can get him clear.
Clear all around.
All right, we'll take that. You see Justin Haley in front of us, who is part of the Championship 4. The only way to be sure that we got a shot at this championship at the end of this thing is to be in the lead. Otherwise, we're sort of at the mercy of what happens in front of us as to whether or not we can win that championship. But right now, we're on a slow and steady march. We seem to be reeling in several of these guys. We just need to continue that. Okay, here's Haley in 5th. But the ultimate question is, do we have enough speed to contend for the victory, or are we going to need help in order to win this championship? If it turns out like it did in the dirt cars, we ended up with a top 5 car, but we could not pull off the championship because the eventual champion won the race.
Stay on the bottom here for me. Still there.
All right, we are to the inside of Haley, but can we clear him? And the answer is no right now. He's going to pull back to our outside. All right, we're coming to the end of stage 1. And again, these playoff points here don't mean anything anymore. We've made it to the ultimate goal. So our playoff points and regular season points, all that stuff got us to here. That was the job. Now it's all about getting the best finish that we possibly can. So as we come to 2 to go, we find ourselves once again, and we're going to be fighting with Coughlin once again.
Stay high, stay high. Careful, still there.
All right, so it seems like we sort of stalled out some. It does appear that we're right on the edge of having a top 5 car, but we do not have a race dominating truck for sure. A lot of bumps there on the high side exiting turn 2. Lots of bumps. Very easy to get out of control, easily really loose or really tight there, depending on how your truck is handling. All right, so stage 1 comes to a finish, and we are 6th. So normally that would be good. We were right in the middle of the top 10, and things were looking good. But here, not so much. All right, do we pit? I'm going to say yes. We need 53 laps worth of fuel. Can we get that? No, we cannot. So even putting in 2 cans, 49 is all we're going to get. So there's no reason to pit. Looks like nobody else is pitting. So let's go ahead and advance to the green flag. We'll maintain our 6th position on the grid, which will put us on the outside, which I am not happy about. We don't want to be there. So I'm going to try to get to the bottom as soon as I can. Truck is just not happy up here the closer I get to the wall.
Hold your line. You got one inside. Hold your line.
All right, hoping this thing will thin out just a little bit here at the front.
Bottom lane clear. Give it a beat it.
Yep, got up a little too high there.
Got one down low.
No big deal. Slight touch on the wall. All right, here we go. So we've got some room now on the inside. We'll take that.
Careful. Still there. Draw clear up top.
So we'll try to move our way up through the field once again, see what we've got.
Careful. Still there. Still there.
Because we need to inch our way closer and closer to the front if at all possible.
Clear all around.
All right, we're to the inside,
Stay on the bottom here for me. Still there.
and I think we're 3
Careful
wide.
now. Easy.
Nope, just 2 wide.
Clear high, bud.
All right, I heard my spotter just tell me clear high, and that clearly is not the case,
Stay low. Careful. Still
as we
there.
are side by side with Haley.
Outside, outside.
I'm trying to hang this bottom to get as much speed as I possibly can, but right now I just cannot get by Haley. I don't have the speed on the straights to go ahead and finish the pass off.
Still there. Still there.
And once again, the leaders are in sight. They're not running away with it.
All right, clear outside.
All right, and we're finally going to get by Haley. Not sure if he just decided to give in right there, given where we are in the race or what, but that was a very tough battle, and hopefully we can hold him off and continue our march toward the front. Because I don't know who all the Championship 4 are, but I've got a feeling that at least one of these guys in front of us is part of that, because I see Johnny Sauter up there. But when I get into races like this, and this series in particular, I'm trying not to find out as much information as I can. You know, normally I'd want to know before the race starts, you know, who are we racing for the championship and all that, but it adds to the fun and the intrigue for me, is I don't remember who the top 4 are, and I don't remember who the 3 guys are that we're racing for this championship. So right now I'm set on trying to get to that lead, and then we won't have to worry about it. But I see Johnny Sauter up in front of us, and I feel fairly certain that he's one of the championship 4.
Still there.
All right, so Enfinger's going to get back by us, and looks like he's got company coming with him.
5 to go. You got this.
All right, 5 more laps here in stage number 2.
Stay on the bottom here for me. Careful.
We're going to
Still
keep
there.
pushing hard. Again, these stage points don't mean anything in this race, but we're going to keep pushing hard.
Outside, outside. Still there.
Yeah, we're just lacking in overall speed, so we're going to need some help to win this championship. Because it's certainly not looking like we're going to have the speed to get up and race with these guys man to man.
Still there.
We're going to need some help.
Car on the outside now, outside.
Good news for us is that Enfinger is not part of the championship 4, but we know Moffitt is, because we've seen that earlier in the race when we went by him.
Outside. Car outside. Stay low, stay low. Careful. Still there.
Once again, we can get through the corners pretty good, but we just don't have what it takes coming off the corner and down the straightaways,
Outside, outside.
which is one reason why I'm trying out this extreme bottom as much as possible, just trying to make the track as short as I can and seeing if that will help.
2 to go.
As you can see, Moffitt getting a huge run on us. We're definitely faster than Moffitt through the corners, but the straightaway is the other way around. He is killing us on the straightaway. All right, so we're coming to the final lap of stage number 2, and
1 more to go.
we're in the top 5.
Stay on the bottom here for me. Still there.
All right, let's see if we can bring home a 4th here in this stage, just for a mental victory. I see Johnny Sauter up there leading this race.
Hang tight there, driver. Hold this line here.
All right, there we go. We ended up 5th, so not quite what we were looking for there on that last lap, but Johnny Sauter will bring home the stage victory, and that is certainly not good news for us. All right, so we're going to have to pit, obviously, here for some fuel. And let's see, do we want to go? I actually don't want to cut it that close, and it would be really nice if this. Okay, let's just go right sides. Repairs, no. All right, let's do this thing. Okay, 16th. That's kind of what I figured was going to happen.
These cars off. Coming to the green. Be ready.
All right, so we got our work cut out for us, but the good news is we've got a little bit more time here in this particular stage, as we're roughly halfway through the race at this point. So we've got plenty of fuel, a little bit more than what we're going to need, but I really didn't want to cut it close at the very end.
Careful. Still there. Car there's on your inside.
Ooh, look out.
Hold your line. You got one inside. Hold your line.
Oh, and we got a caution. I'm not sure if that was for us or not. Of course, we're not going to pit here. But yeah, not a whole lot of room there on that restart. And we got up into the wall.
Cars off.
And basically, I was just trying to stay out of the way until things cleared out a little bit and we could get back going. But we'll have to see if our truck is going to be any worse for the wear. And now we're going to try to pass as many trucks as we can, as quickly as we can.
Clear all around. Hot. Clear outside. Car high. Careful now. Easy. outside now, outside. Got one outside now. Clear high, bud.
All right, so we're able to hang this bottom pretty good and pass a lot of cars. And I mean a lot of cars. A lot more than I thought we were going to be able to pass down here given our previous speed.
Clear high, bud. Top lane straight here. Use it if you need it.
All right, so it does look like things have been mixed up quite a bit here at the front of the field.
Outside,
We've got Burton in front of us. He was not up here previously. And then the 83 truck also was not up here previously. So we've had
Stay low, stay low.
some interesting strategy being played by these guys, which I really enjoy seeing. So 30 laps to go. These guys have played some pit strategy and are hoping
All around.
that that will help them get what they need, which is a race victory. But I do notice Justin Haley is right with us, and he is showing quite a bit of speed. So we're going to have to see how long we can keep him behind us. And I'm not sure that answer is going to be for very long. We're going to try to hug this bottom and see if we can do it. I am very surprised that we are in the lead. I knew we could make our way back up through the field. Being back in the pack didn't really bother me all that much because I knew we had plenty of time to get back up there. My biggest concern is, do we have enough speed to win? Right now I'm going to say no. But our goal right now is to just try to pull away from these guys and see if we can get away from them. Maybe we can, maybe we can't. But what I need the most right now is somebody to get out and push on the straightaways and give us some extra speed. Because Justin Haley is gaining quickly on us right now. Very quickly, in fact.
That car there is on your inside. He's inside.
All right, you can see he's clearly part of the championship 4. The good news is there's nobody behind him that seems to be as fast, so we just got to try to hang in here with him and see if we can make this thing happen between the two of us. But he has got a lot of speed right now. You can see we get a nice run on him here. Very nice run. I'm going to try to draft him down the straightaway. And we'll see if we can get position on him going through the corners. But the straightaway is not going to be our strong suit against him.
Stay on the bottom here for me. Still there.
Alright, so we've gotten position on him for now, but I think he's just going to pull right back
Stay
ahead
on the bottom right here.
on the straightaway.
Still there.
Yeah, sure enough. All right, 24 laps remaining. Can we get by Justin Haley? Man, this is going to be tough. Let's move back up top a little bit, at least toward the center of the track, and just see what we can do. I believe the bottom is going to be our way to go if we're actually going to be able to get by him. But I need to see what we can do on this high side. We haven't been able to do much up there for the entire race. All right, looks like about the best we can do is break even with him running up there. Still plenty of time left, and of course we're hoping that he will start to fade as we get into a longer run. That's our hope anyway, because right now he is certainly matching us on speed. I don't really see anybody coming behind us in a hurry, so we got 21 more laps to make this a 2-truck race for the championship. Again, this is what we're going for in this series. We're down on speed, we're down on grip. So we're going to have to make it happen if possible. And I am perfectly fine with, if it's ultimately not quite possible, it's just out of our reach, I'm perfectly fine with that. Because we have to be honest with ourselves about the condition of the AI in this game. If we had a fully upgraded truck, we would be way out ahead right now. Because these guys would not have a shot running these speeds at the lead. We would be well faster than this. But I think we've come up with a pretty good combination that's making for some great racing. And we will continue that into the Xfinity, and hopefully we can continue that into the Cup Series when it gets down to that. All right, I see Noah Gregson coming up on our inside here, and he's coming up pretty quickly. Over the last couple of laps, he's made up a lot of ground on us. I'm not going to really fight him because he's so fast right now. My hope right now is that he can run down Justin Haley and they get to fighting, and that brings us back into it. Whoa, got really loose right there, really loose. Those bumps will get you every time. You can see, here comes Moffitt coming back on us after our big slide coming off of turn 2. Whoa, easy there, Moffitt. Doing the slide job on me. All right, 16 more laps around, and things are not looking good for us. The leaders haven't really pulled away from us, but we're losing positions. We now have 2 of our championship competitors in front of us instead of just 1. And I'm beginning to think that this is going to be a lot like the dirt finale at Eldora, where we had a fast car, but not near fast enough to get to the lead and hold it. But the good news once again is that Justin Haley, who is in second place right now, is the one we've got to get by. We'll have to get Moffitt to get to him, but then we got to get to at least second if we're going to have any shot here. Gregson is running his own race right now. He is not in the championship 4, so what he does is really irrelevant to us. But these guys, I just cannot make up any ground on them. I think we've basically just run out of speed here. And we've reached basically as high as we can get. But the good news is we're here. If anything happens in front of us, we're here. I'm telling you, those bumps on the high side of turn 2 on the exit really get your attention. There are ways to mitigate that. I did not use them for this race. I didn't really think it was going to be necessary. I was focused on some other things. But yeah, they will definitely get your attention. You see those guys in front of us, particularly Moffitt, is right around the wall. He is running the extreme high side. So right now what we would really need is basically a caution flag. We're able to more or less keep pace with these guys, but we just don't have the speed to run them down.
10 to go. 10 to go.
All right, 10 more trips around.
Tower is called the car.
Oh, and there we go. There we go. Caution flag is out. Of course, we're not going to be pitting, but this will enable us to catch up. So it shows 9 laps remaining. We'll see what that ends up being when we take the green. All right, here we are. We're on the outside, and now it's time to go for it. We're going to give it everything we've got.
Be ready here.
We don't have the all-out speed,
Green flag, green.
but we're going to give it everything we've got. All right, I'm going to try to get it on the inside here. And couldn't quite get to the bottom, which is what I wanted. Moffitt's got us
Car outside. Hold your line here.
stuck in the middle of 3 wide. And now these guys are just going to freight train us.
Car high now.
This is where the aggravation of not having the motor to run with them really comes into play.
Stay low. Stay low. Careful. Still there.
But this is what we were hoping for. We've got a chance.
Careful. Still there. 5 to go. You got this.
Looks like we're going to come up just a little bit short on speed.
All right, now you're clear. Stay low. Hang tight there, driver. Hold this line here. Clear high. Clear high.
All right, that gets us into 4th once again, which is where we started. Wow, look at Stuart Friesen coming on our outside. Yep, not quite enough. I was driving that thing for all she was worth coming through that corner.
Inside, inside. Got one down low now. Got one
And
down
we are
low.
just going to come up short. Just not going to quite have what we need to compete. So As far as the different options we talked about before this race started, where we might come in and have a dominating truck, or we might come in and barely be in the top 10, well, it's looking like the top 10 is about all we can get right now. We just don't have the speed to compete with these guys lap after lap. And at this point, I'm just trying anything I can and really driving this thing hard. Just for the fun of it at this point. But we are getting crushed. I mean, you can see these guys, how much time they're making up on me just on corner entry, and I'm not even lifting. I mean, they are making up several truck lengths on me on entry, and I'm doing absolutely nothing other than just driving it on in there. So once again, we're going to try to get the best finish we can, even if that's not good enough for a championship. And right now, I'm going to try to get 7th here in these final couple of corners. Couldn't quite stay in the gas and stay off of road. So, yep, he's going to get us. So we'll finish 8th. Wow. So the back half of the top 10 is where we end up. Certainly not what we were hoping for, but I am very happy with the strength of our truck as we went through the season. We had a lot of great races. And now that just gives us more data to use as we move forward into the Xfinity series. So very happy about that. Looks like Brett Moffitt is going to be your champion. Very good race for him, even though Johnny Sauter is out front right now. We'll bring home about, what is that, almost $34,000 overall. And yes, Brett Moffitt is indeed your champion. Johnny Sauter and Justin Haley, you can see, were several points back. Not that it mattered about the points, but... So, very nice. I'm actually happy that we've run through the first 2 series in the game and not won the championship. Which seems like an odd thing to say, but it is actually a very good thing, I think, because it means we found a nice balance that will allow us to run toward the front without just dominating and winning tons of races. Jordan Anderson, let's see what kind of feedback we get. You know what? You brighten my day every time I see you. Okay, that's a little awkward. Keep up the good work. Okay, now that... I like that kind of message. And then we get one that we've seen several times before. If anyone so much as touches Neil Pittler on the track, they're going to have to answer to me. All right, now that the season is over, it's time to take a look at your contracts and sign with the team for next year. Well, of course, we're not going to do that right now. That is going to end it for this particular video. We'll come back next time and we'll get started with Xfinity and just see what that entails. Do we have enough money to do our own team? And if so, how much can we do as far as upgrading the car before we hit Daytona to begin the season? So a lot of decisions to make, a lot of information to find out as we come back and start season number 3 in Xfinity. Thank you very much for joining me, and stay tuned as we will continue our career mode series in NASCAR Heat 3.